Guitar Stories Podcast, your #1 show for everything guitar.
Hello!
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Dan.
Hey, Andy.
Oh, man, it's so good to be back.
Yeah.
Let's just do a quick audio check. Are we hearing me? Are we hearing Dan? Are we seeing Dan? Are we hearing Dan? Are we here? Are we live? People are saying hi in the chat, but I don't know if that's just because they're talkative.
Huh,
Let us know. Hello, hello. Dan is moving. Dan is...
What?
I don't even know what's going on. I'm so excited.
Yeah, the moving is real now. That's probably the saddest room
Seeing,
ever.
hearing, oh my goodness. It's almost as like we've done this 28 times before.
So that means...
Is it 27 times before?
No, 28. Episode 28, yeah.
My
Everything
goodness.
looks and sounds great, except for my room.
Yeah, where's all your stuff gone, Dan?
Well, boxes. One guitar. The rest is just boxes. The moving is real. Excited.
That's the moving. The moving. Now I understand it. I was understanding moving as in,
Not the
you
movement.
were moving. Okay. I guess we should do an introduction then. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Guitar Stories Podcast, episode number 28, talking about something that I'm nervous about. Do YouTubers get paid for reviews? Are videos paid for, etc.? Hello, Dan.
Hello, Andy, and welcome everyone to this episode. I'm excited to be here.
Hi,
yeah. Sorry?
No, I'm not jumping over you again. We had that last time.
All good, all good. I was just about to say it's so great to be back because last week I had to say sorry I can't speak, so we had to cancel that episode. But you did a great job on going through Joe Bonamessa's Wonder World of Merchandise. That was super funny. Great job.
Yeah. It was not an official podcast episode because it was hanging out, but a massive thanks to Lee Fuge. I hope that if you saw that on the YouTube channel, then you went to check out his channel because he's rather good. And he's annoyingly good. Actually, he's just annoying, but you know what it's like. I'm going to move that camera. Yeah, so welcome if you're listening to the audio podcast. Tonight we're going to do a better job of describing what we're talking about because I've noticed listening back that things come on the screen that we're seeing and then we go, oh, that's great. And I'm thinking, if people are listening to this, they have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah. Good point.
Apologies.
Actually, I was pretty proud about the audio quality last time because the podcast audio quality of John Gum was amazing. I had the chills when I reheard that. Well,
how much fun was that? John is amazing.
Yeah,
truly is.
He was amazing. Whoops. All right, now I'm good.
So, good news. Michiel seems happy, so that's nice. Even though we were a little bit late this week.
Yeah.
We had stuff to do.
Well, we're busy. Actually, we had to check the latest video on YouTube from Gibson, which leads us to...
Yeah, guitar news. All right, then. Seamless.
Yeah. Lovely. So, we just watched it. Basically, like minutes before the show, Gibson has officially revealed that Dave Mustaine joined the artist roster. What's your take on that, Andy?
I don't really know.
Are you a fan? Are you a Megadeth fan?
Not really.
No?
I was more. As you know, this is my year for getting into metal, so that may change. So maybe in a few weeks, maybe even a few hours' time, my opinion may change. But in the 90s, when I was most into my music, it was mainly grunge and stuff like that. So it was Megadeth had too many notes for me back then. It was too too melodic. But this is interesting. I know what a powerhouse he is, of course. I know what a big name he is in the world of guitar, and of course I appreciate his playing. But I really don't know what to make of this with Gibson.
Yeah, it was an interesting tease.
It's going to sound awful, Dan. I guess ultimately I don't care, and I know that's awful.
Actually, I think a lot of people
That's
would
why I'm
care.
struggling.
Yeah, no, all good,
I
all
know.
good.
I can only speak for myself.
I mean, it was interesting to see because there was so much speculation out there. I think Trogly's already found some proof that there would be a flying V coming, and then there was some social media or Instagram kind of tease by Cesar from Gibson, their COO. And then quite like was it a couple days ago, there was a little trailer, like 14 seconds, where you just see Megadeth's mascot Vic Rattlehead walking across a graveyard, and then he pulls out a sword and out of the scabbard, and then on the actual sword blade it says "Rust in Peace." So that was a pretty cool tease. At least I liked it, and it shows that they're really kind of nailing it how to create that sort of momentum and expectation from the community. I really like
Absolutely.
that.
Let's put it out to the chat. People in the chat, what do we think of the Dave Mustaine Gibson stuff? There are two things that I'm taking from this, Dan. And the first one is I like the way they've spread it across the brands, which you and I were talking about just before we went live. So you've got Kramer, Gibson, and Epiphone.
Yeah.
I really like that flying V. I think that's great.
Yeah.
So you've got a flying... Sorry, I've done it again. I've done it already. I'm talking about something I haven't mentioned what it is. There's a flying V, a Kramer V. I don't know what those models are called. I've never really done Kramer. And is Epiphone the acoustic?
I'm not sure if that's an Epiphone, actually. Can you spot that?
Because it looks like it says... Yeah, the acoustic looks like a Gibson. The silver V is definitely the Kramer, and the V in the middle is definitely Gibson. So I'm not seeing any of the Epiphone stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they might not just have finished the import versions because, frankly, it's kind of hard to get that done in overseas factory now during COVID times. Yeah, but it's interesting, like you said, interesting to see that with such a big name like Mustaine, they're spreading that across not just various segments like acoustic, electric, but also across several brands, kind of strengthening not just like their house brand Gibson, but also Kramer. I like it. I mean, it will be interesting to see what the price point will be. Maybe the Kramer version will be the slightly less expensive. I don't know. What I find interesting though is that they went for different cosmetics. I'm sorry.
No. What do you mean by different cosmetics? So the like, Kramer V versus the...
Yeah, like both Vs. I mean, the Kramer V looks a lot more aggressive with I don't know how they called it those inlays, but they are pretty much like Jackson's signature, like I think Jackson and Kramer's signature inlays. There's it's like a rounded off triangle, two triangles on each on each fret, and in that gray finish, it looks very aggressive and very pointy. Whereas the Gibson V looks more like a little bit rounder and more classic kind of approach to the V. I mean, it's all black. How do you call those inlays? It's a block inlays. It's I don't know, the Gibson. I have no Gibson knowledge at all.
Split trapezoid, split something.
Well, let's
someone
call
in the chat will let me know. It's split something.
Split something, yeah. So that
what I like is the headstock, Dan. So you've got the hockey stick headstock, the Explorer on the V.
Yeah.
And I love stuff like that. That makes it kind of quirky. That's made it certainly special and appeals to me more.
Yeah.
But the second thing I want to bring up that I'm taking from this is the thing that's very strange is there's Dave Mustaine with the new Gibsons and the Kramer. Look at the amps behind him, Dan.
You mean it's not Boogies?
They're not Mesa Boogie amps. So Dave Mustaine does not play Mesa Boogie amps, but Gibson... sorry, hang on, let me get this right. Gibson has now welcomed Mesa Boogie to the Gibson family.
Ooh.
And there are still Marshall amps behind Dave Mustaine. Thank you. You're welcome. Well, I've got to be very diplomatic this episode because I could get myself into trouble. So I'm desperately trying not to. So yeah, it's really good to see that there's still some Marshalls because very easy to pick on Gibson. Hang on, let me just walk over this glass right now and just tiptoeing around the edges of this danger pit. And I'm waiting for the time where Slash gets his Mesa Boogie signature amp.
Yeah. That'll be interesting.
So I'd love to know what's behind, what's his name?
Cesar?
I can't remember. Cesar. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
guitars behind him as well on the picture. That looks like one of them looks like a Fender.
Oh. Well, I don't know what they've got hanging there.
Just over his left shoulder. But anyway.
Yeah. What's very
Go to the
interesting is
chat.
actually
We've got
the acoustic. Sorry.
Sorry, I'm just talking over you all this week. Dumping the V's. Some people are not impressed. Some people have just joined, so they don't know what we're talking about. There is people are trying to buy Kramers locally. Okay, so used ones. I'm really not getting the feel of it. It does seem like they're talking about other things, which leads me to believe that many other people are also not that affected by this.
Could be. I mean, I think I saw one comment where someone said he's close to retirement, so he's probably just looking for different streams of income, which of course is always part of an endorsement. That might be something that we tackle later too. But yeah, I mean, the announcement was definitely big, and he's a household name when it comes to heavy metal. And actually, I like the acoustic very much. It's a 24 fret acoustic with a very wide cutaway, and I think they also altered. Yeah, it's got 24 frets. They say it in the video. That's a funny thing, Andy. That's a funny thing about the video. Like everyone who's into Mustaine is like into the Jackson V Mustaine, but throughout the whole video, they only mention details for the acoustic guitars. I like it.
All right.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Let's keep our ear to the ground and our eyes to the Gibson Instagram and all that stuff, and hope that we get some more news. We've just got a super chat from Michiel, and he says something that there's no way I can read out without getting myself in trouble.
May I? Come on. So Michiel
you
just
may,
wrote,
of course you may.
All the good artists are at Ibanez. You're welcome. Thanks, Michiel. When am I getting my coffee from Michiel's sponsorings?
Oh, next week. Next week.
All right, awesome. So
next week. Yeah, it's next week. Dan, it's been a rather slow week in gear, but I've got some kind of stuff. So maybe we can move on to my pick of the week.
Sure, please.
Andy's pick of the week.
My pick of the week. This is a weird one because up first is something that Dan kind of picked for me and said you can have that if you want. I had already seen it, but I hadn't done any preparation for the podcast at this point. So this is my pick of the week, but it's kind of also Dan's. It is the collaboration between Built Guitars and Chase Bliss. So there's a Built Revelator with a Chase Bliss, I can't speak this week, Chase Bliss blooper. Man, that's hard to say. Built into it. So it's a guitar with an effects pedal inside it, and I dig it hard. I think
when I saw it, I was.
There's two models.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you saw it, when you sent it to me, I thought, okay, well, Dan's doing my work for me. Great.
I was just thinking, like, if you see that thing, you would just drool over that. That's like that encompasses everything you're looking for. You need switches and you need a quirky looking guitar. It's just like an Andy signature model kind of thing.
Yeah, but Dan, this is old Andy. This is pre-metal Andy.
Oh wow! So now you're flying V and RG, Andy.
If it ain't pointy, I'm not digging it. So, I'm working on some new catchphrases. That's I'm not there yet. Sorry.
Yeah. The metal geek.
The metal geek. No, I'm certainly not there with metal, but yes, I absolutely love the Revelator. Anyway, I've only ever tried a Chase Bliss blooper once. You can see I haven't made a video for them because I can't say it. And it's quirky as heck. So it seems almost like one of those guitars that you could be a whole soundscape with one guitar. So I find that exciting. Yep. And there's another color. So they've reversed the colors where it's white with a blue scratch plate or blue with a white scratch plate.
But seriously,
and I think it's great. It's very Jazzmaster.
Yeah, I like the blue pickup housings. I mean, that's so cool.
Yes, it's like a baby blue, isn't it? It's I don't know. But yeah, I like that. That's something that I certainly like, and thank you so much for sending it to me, Dan. But that is my official first pick of the week. My second pick of the week is this, and it's a bass.
Ooh.
This is pre-metal Andy's sort of dream bass, not dream bass, but certainly dream bass. It's a Strat inspired bass guitar, and it's called the Spellcaster bass. So I'm seeing a very Strat inspired body. It's basically a Strat body with 3 pickups in a Strat formation, a trem system on a bass. Everything looks on the body looks like a Strat, and then the neck you've got something that looks a bit like a Thunderbird, kind of neck.
Yeah. I was just thinking the same. I was like, as if a Strat and a Thunderbird like spend the night together, and this is the offspring.
I love it. I love this trem system on a bass. I think I'm wondering if that trem arm is actually going to withstand the tension. You know, like as I've used trem arms on guitars on my Fender Strat, the custom shop one. The trem arm bends when you're tremming. Yeah, that's a word. I don't think it's supposed to do that.
Bends?
I think it's
no.
It kind of bends. Yeah.
Wow.
It's extremely authentic, but I like that a lot. I don't know if I would play it or if I would buy it, but I like it. And there's another picture I've got to bring up. Oh, that one's vanished out of the Dropbox. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got one picture to show you. Oh, hang on. Oh, wait. There we go.
All right.
There's another one. It just looks classy.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite guitars is the Fender 66, which is behind me. If people are watching, you can just kind of see it up there next to the Paul Gilbert Ibanez FRM 300. And I love that guitar because it's a precision bass body that it's a guitar. So this is like the other way around.
Yeah.
And then I've got some details. It's the 25 frets. Yeah. So I think it says the reverse headstock design was inspired by Jimi Hendrix's playing of a right-handed Strat as a lefty, promising increased tension on the E string while reducing tension on the G. That makes a lot of sense.
Of course.
However, it's $1,635 direct, so I don't think I'll be going anywhere near it. I don't like it that much.
But Andy,
Thoughts, Dan?
what have I done that you're picking a bass for one of your picks of the week? I mean, that's sacrilege.
Well, my only pick of the week, because you picked the other one for me.
All right, we're going to see who's the king of the pick tonight, right?
Well, I would have picked something you picked, so if you don't mind, would we move on to your pick of the week, sir?
Of course.
Dance, pick of the week. Dance, pick of the week.
Ooh.
There you go.
What is your first pick of the week, sir?
My first pick is actually not news, it's actually old. But since I was sick last week, I still decided to yeah, thank you. I still decided to pick it because it's the Strandberg Singularity True Temperament guitar, and I think a lot of us are already aware that there is has been a signature guitar for Per Nielsen from Scar Symmetry. Is he still like doing that project? Anyways, so Per Nielsen, great guitarist, also metal guitarist, and he already had a Strandberg guitar. Pretty much, everyone knows how the Strandberg guitars look. I mean, it's basically like a headless guitar in a very pointy, edgy kind of shape. And how would you describe the body shape? It's a little.
I think
quirky.
I would describe it in a way that it's ergonomics over design, which I think is the kind of their aim. Don't quote me on that,
Yep.
But having played a few, they fit the body so well. It's almost as if they've designed something for ergonomics first and then made some kind of design out of it, which is kind of like a stretched out Strat with a really deep lower cut to fit on your knee. The colors, Dan. Well done on this pick of the week. The colors are right up my street. But what's going on with the wiggly frets? What's going on
Yeah.
on those fretwork?
I mean, that's the actual feature. It's one of the few like regular guitars that are available with the iconic true temperament frets. And that's a thing. That's something that I think I've seen first. Steve Vai using that on his on a couple of his jam guitars. And actually, the frets, they are kind of very precisely custom tailored for every single string, so that the intonation is 100% perfect. So there's no in between and no like compromising in tone. But it's like you can see, it's almost as if you're drunk and you're looking at the fretboard. It's very challenging to look at as a traditional guitarist. Let's put it that way.
I'm trying to think if
And
I've
what-
ever played one. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I don't
it
think I have played
combines
one.
it combines the Endure neck, the very specific and ergonomic Strandberg signature neck profile, plus the true temperament fret. So it's a very progressive instrument. I really like the approach. And like I said, it's one of the few that comes stock with true temperaments. And such a TT neck alone, if you buy that from the Swedish company, it can account for $500 easily. So yeah. That actually puts the overall price of the instruments, the 7-string clocks in at I think $3,500, and the 8-string at 3.8K. So that puts it a little bit in perspective, but still, I mean, Strandberg guitars are expensive, but they are very, very unique too. So if you want one, you got to spend a few bucks.
I feel that Strandberg guitars are more expensive than they need to be. But having played a few, I really enjoy. Guillaume has one, or had one. I'm not sure if he's still got it. And I did play. Yeah, so I'm being asked in the chat by Rescue Gear if I played one at TGU 2018, and yes, I did. And the neck is like a half hexagon thing, isn't it? So
Yep.
it's extremely fun to play because I suppose it's to do with, is it reducing surface area on the neck so that you're just touching it where you need to touch it and therefore can move around quicker, so there's less friction.
Now also I think it reduces fatigue. So because you're not like having those kind of uncomfortable touch to the neck. So it's it kind of like if you're going up and down the neck, it like fits where your hands have to actually stay in order to not tire out.
Right. And sorry, Rescue Gear was stating a fact, not asking a question. I do apologize. You have another pick. Should we move on to that? Your second pick of the week.
Please.
There you are.
The second pick, there's actually news. And I picked it for two reasons. One's, I think the Misha Mansour Invective amp, the big one that they released back in, I think, January 2017, if I'm not mistaken. That was quite a big statement and kind of successful in the market. A lot of people like that. And but I also picked that because it's one of the few live signs that I've seen from PB so far. Did you like?
What did you pick, Dan? You haven't said what you've picked.
Oh, I'm sorry. I picked the PB 20 watt Misha Mansour Invective MH top.
Oh, right. Now it's clear. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So I was actually really questioning myself, is PB still live? Because I haven't seen any major releases. Do you?
Well, yeah, they did the Wolfgang. Sorry, not the Wolfgang. Their version of it, the Eddie Van Halen guitar that they released sort of the week after he passed.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, okay, but this is kind of only a couple weeks old, or well, a couple months old. But like,
yeah, regarding, as you said, I would agree that PV have been rather quiet. But question in from Sarang: does it have like a load box? So let's have a look on the back of the amp. It has an MSDI mic simulated direct interface. It does have a 20 watt, 5 watt, and 1 watt mode.
Yeah, I think
a USB socket.
Yeah, they're using some kind of internal dummy load, I guess, so you can actually reduce the loudness.
So I'm going to need to try that because, as a metal guy now, that's the kind of amp that I play these days.
Yeah, I mean, what I like about those amps, they are still quite expensive, but they are not so expensive that you can only have one. So basically, you can buy like a mini Marshall, you can buy a mini PV, and let's say a mini Boogie, mini rectifier or something. So that's pretty cool. So you have a whole palette, different colors. Mini Soldano, just the latest slow, was also pretty nice. So yeah, so that's why I picked that. I think it's loaded with
Okay.
features, and will be very nice for all the gent kids that don't necessarily need a 100-watt or 150-watt head to play in their bedrooms.
That's right. So
Yeah.
I'm going to give a rather strong statement in the fact that I don't think. No, wait a minute. Wait, careful, Andy. I think 20 watts is good. Yes. I was going to say I think these days 20 watts is more than most people need, but it's not true on all amps with headroom and stuff like that. But
Yeah, that's
certainly for an amp that is going to be driven like this PV, 20 watts is pretty darn fine.
absolutely. All right,
I'm
so
really tiptoeing this week. We're getting closer to the topic of the week.
I know.
I'm starting to sweat and everything. So I'll have to
You're
tell
trying
my
so hard.
story before we go into the.
All right, yeah.
All right,
you're
Dan,
trying
we've
so
got a
hard to
new
be
little
Switzerland.
cutaway. Can I play
What
the
is
new
that?
video, the new cutscene?
Yeah,
It's the
please.
pick of the picks.
What's gonna lose? What will they choose? Which gear is pick of the picks?
That's hilarious.
Pick of the picks. I'm taking up a new career in making those silly little videos. Pick of the picks, Dan, is when the people in the live chat of the YouTube channel decide their favorite pick of the picks. It's pretty self-explanatory. And will we have an answer from the people in the live chat? Which is their favorite pick? Would it be the PV amp? Would it be the Strandberg guitar? Would it be the built Revelator with a built-in Chase Bliss blooper? Or will it be the bass that I've forgotten what it's called? I almost made it to the end and remembered all the products, but I didn't. Spellcaster. Oh, I got it, all in the same breath. And apparently 60 Cycle Hum has just started a live cast. So, it was nice seeing you all in the live chat. We'll see you next week.
Well, we're at 75 people live. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's so nice. I really appreciate you watching us. And we are 10% better than 60 Cycle Hum this week, just so you know. Not counting Steve, of course. Steve's the ultimate.
Excuse me.
So we've had one vote for the PV, two votes for the PV, one vote for the Baby Blue Revelator PV. Daniel Taylor's never going to leave. Dan's Legos in the background. Valeria's voting for your Lego. What Lego have you got, Dan? So Dan's showing us.
That's the Bespin Duel.
The Bespin Duel. Revelator. Artie Smudge likes the bass Revelator. I think it's between the Revelator and the PV at the moment, but
right.
I don't know. So if you're listening to the podcast audio version, let us know which your favorite is. I'm going to call it a draw between the PV. Hang on, I've got an offer. I'll give you my Flashback 4 if you build it into a guitar, Andy. Dan, I'm going to need a peer.
You gotta take it out of Pooh Ninja's dead cold hands.
I've got to learn to get to the moon first. Okay.
Yeah.
It's between the Revelator and the PV, and I'm happy with that answer. And quite frankly, Dan, I am just playing for time because I don't want to do the main topic.
Yeah, and you're acting like you're trying so hard to be Switzerland. You're the Swiss Andy tonight.
I am
the Swandy.
I am so Swiss. It's unbelievable. I've got this little tassel on my head, and I'm smelling of chocolate.
Yeah, and cheese. Awesome.
You know as well as I do, I always smell of cheese.
So since Michiel is almost every week sponsoring us €2, do we actually have to disclaim that because he's sponsoring the show? Is he paying us?
Sweating profusely. I'm sweating. Sweat is pouring from my hands.
All right, let's head to the main topic, okay?
Okay, let's do the main topic, which, oh, goodness gracious. Do you want to, I don't even know what to do. Main topic, nothing's changed. I've got no video, nothing to get through it.
All right.
Should we have guest of the week? Is me being not me? There we go. I want to put myself in the other screen. All right, come on then, Dan. Right, what is our main topic? I'm going to just go inside myself for a moment.
All right. Okay, our main topic today, and I don't know if it's controversial for the guys and gals in the chat, but it's
Yes, it
actually
is.
Yes, it is. Okay. Oh, what a segue. Awesome. Thanks, Michiel. Is getting paid for reviews. Is that something that people know that YouTubers are getting paid for reviews? Is that something that is very transparent to the crowd? And also, like, kind of broadening the topic, what's the income stream for a YouTuber? And since we have like two perspectives that are super interesting because they're so contrary. Because I'm always checking that topic out from the corporate perspective, from my Ibanez perspective, because I'm looking for YouTubers, I'm looking for influencers, I'm looking for artists in order to promote my brand that I'm in charge of. And then there's your perspective. And I find it so interesting because your perspective is completely different, because you have to work with several companies in order to make a living. And you are kind of dependent on varying income streams. And some of them are affiliate marketing, some of them are influencer marketing. And those are two very broad topics that actually we wanted to discuss because, yeah, actually, both terms or both income streams were not too obvious for a lot of people. Actually, we had a lot of inquiries lately. What is that affiliate kind of marketing, affiliate link kind of thing? What is that? Like, how does it work? And what does influencer marketing mean? All those kind of questions, they kind of popped up on several occasions. And so I thought that would be an interesting topic. And Andy was freaking out, and then decided, okay, let's do it, because he likes to walk on a razor blade.
I until about, I want to say 11 a.m. we didn't have a topic for today. Until I actually released the video preview thing went live, I was still saying, I actually said to Dan this morning, no, we can't do it. It's too close to my job and I'm worried and scared about doing it. So I am being silly, I am being over the top dramatic, funny, haha, I'm scared and sweating, but genuinely, sorry, I don't want to lose my job. I like to eat. I like to feed my kids. Yeah. And I know how things can get taken out of context. But that being said, I think I also said something like, I live for fear or something. Or anyway, so I've prepared a statement.
That you're going to read out right now? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
The views that I express in this episode of the podcast are solely my own and are based upon my own views and experiences. I do not wish to upset any brands, friends, competitive YouTube channels, none being mentioned.
Okay, got it.
Or any of the viewers or listeners with the things I may say from now on. I'm sorry.
Awesome.
Okay, just so you know, that was a joke. I didn't write that down. I did write some stuff, but I lived it because I want to make sure that we are having fun. But
yeah.
It would have been funny had I prepared that. I think I did all right. Anyway,
Yep. That was pretty smooth.
Thanks very much. I really should, do more with my abilities. So carry on, Dan.
Yep. Oh well. Actually, we brought up a couple topics, and I mean, we're not the first podcast to talk about that. And there are thousands of videos that explain how much you make from YouTube and how you make a living as an influencer. But especially in our field, in the musical instrument industry, I think that's kind of an interesting topic. And like I said, I like to take those two perspectives, maybe do it as some sort of interview or discussion. So Can you?
I'm up for that. Let's just get some.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've got some views from the chat already, so I'd like to bring those up.
Okay.
Because Old Man Zen sorted the problem straight away. With YouTuber reviewers are getting paid for their work, deal with it. There, summed up in 2 sentences. I kind of agree. However, some people, according to the comment sections of videos, would disagree. We're going to talk about that in a moment. Mikhail wrote something cool. He doesn't see it as an issue, so that's nice. And then where we go? Where's it gone? There was another one. There. Mikhail said that you're paid for a service, not for an opinion. That's something I'd like to discuss in the discussion part. But first, would you like to interview me, Dan, or how would you like to do this?
Yeah. Maybe we can just like a couple questions that pop up when we discuss this topic. So can you,
Okay.
to some degree, kind of disclose what your main sources of income are when it comes to
Yes.
making a living as a YouTuber?
Yes. Firstly, it's really hard to keep track of because there are so many. And I don't mean so many as in I'm earning so much money, but you have to do this. You have to have so many multiple streams of income to try and get something like a base kind of monthly amount. So I'm dancing around it. You've got money from YouTube, okay? Directly from Google Ireland, I get a payment every month from Google saying, here's the money from the adverts that we showed on your videos in the last 30-ish days.
Okay, and let me just quickly jump in. And is it right? You got to pay taxes for that amount, so the tax is not already deducted, right? Okay,
Nope.
that's 100% income, and this income will be taxated. Okay.
To be taxed.
Taxed. Okay.
Text. So that's the YouTube side. So when people say YouTubers make a lot of money, and I'm really skimming over this subject quickly, but from YouTube, that is not my main source of income. It is a nice part of it. I could not survive on that alone, which leads me to the next one, which is affiliate links, which you'll have underneath every one of my videos, and there is some underneath this video, in fact. So affiliate links, again, very briefly scraping over the main subject there, is that I put a link. Say I'm talking about this bottle of water. That's a really bad example. This polytuned clip-on tuner, which I really, really enjoy.
Promotion. Unpaid
that
promotion.
Was a promotion. If the affiliate linking stuff, and I had this discussion with Ryan from 60 Cycle Hum, I thought affiliate links were dirty. I thought that it made me feel a bit itchy, a bit uncomfortable, because I felt like I was pushing people to go to these links and therefore send me money. And it's kind of like asking friends to buy something from your business. And that's how I felt.
But isn't that something
and
good?
He quite...
I mean...
It just made me feel dirty until Ryan corrected me, or rather gave me his opinion, and it was that he feels it's the cleanest, or at least he did feel at the time, the cleanest way of earning money, because people can decide whether to click that link or not, and they can decide whether to buy something. And absolutely. So I have Amazon links underneath my video. I have Thomann links, and I have Sweetwater links, and sometimes links with other brands that they run independently. But the Sweetwater, Thomann, and Amazon stuff are the main three, which is why this year, and yes, Dan, we can talk about this, the thing that I said we weren't really going to touch on. Amazon reduced their affiliate percentage to 1%. It was at, I want to say 4%. I only started Amazon links after they dropped it to 1% because I didn't have it set up for Amazon. I didn't think it was worth it. So whatever happens with Amazon, you go to Amazon via one of my links, and then you buy something, I think within 14 days, depending on the country. and anything you buy, if that cookie is on your computer browser, I will get 1% of.
From the net amount, right? Just to make sure that's right. From the net amount, so they already deduct the VAT.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
So that means if anyone goes on there and buys a $500 or €500 TV, and they click my link 2 days previously, and nobody else's link in between my link and their purchase, I will get the TV percentage.
Yeah. Which is
actually where the money comes from, I guess.
Yeah. People buy a lot of stuff from Amazon, and it's not only like limited to musical instruments. It's basically everything you buy from Amazon, right?
Yes, anything you buy.
Yeah.
So that's Amazon. And the same with Thomann and Sweetwater. You can click my if I'm doing I don't know, this again, TC Electronic, well done. You're looking at a video for this Polytune, but you also buy I don't know, a guitar, an amp, and a couple of packs of strings.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to buy the thing that I'm showing the link for, as long as you've gone to the website, and that's the same for Thomann and Sweetwater. Exactly the same for everybody, I guess.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, that's it. Recently, Sweetwater have changed their affiliate program, which is one of the things I wasn't sure I was going to talk about, but to heck with it, we're in it now. It upset a few of us because they dropped from 6% to 4%, and I believe the reason is because they don't need to pay out so much.
Yep.
So, Dan, you had a view on this with Amazon, which kind of also you can also put this on the Sweetwater thing. Jeff Bezos realized that because everyone's at home, everyone's buying from Amazon anyway, why pay people 4% when you can pay them 1%? Because people are still buying.
Yeah. No alternative. I mean, especially when the whole pandemic happened, there wasn't a lot of stores where you could buy from. So there was just like some sort of, logical business move from their side, that they decide, okay, if people have no alternative, I mean, we can't cut it off completely, because then we would just lose that relation. But why should we overspend? Let's put it that way. Why should we overspend? Because if our sales increase so significantly, then I think their thinking was, all right, if the amount of online sales increases so drastically, then maybe at the end of the day it will even be kind of flat compared to the previous amount that you made, just with a smaller percentage. But I mean, that's highly dependent on how much you made, and
you would think, yeah. Quite honestly, again, affiliate linking is great. It's a great way to earn income. And I've just realized that I have not set up the photo that you sent me earlier on WhatsApp, which I definitely want to show. So I'm about to save it. Again, right. So just affiliate linking alone at my current situation would not be enough to constitute a job. Mm-hmm. It's not enough. Again, it's another source of income. And I don't know who wants to hear this or who needs to hear this, but if you're interested in doing things like what I do, then affiliate linking is an absolute necessity, because it doesn't cost the viewer anything. It doesn't cost the YouTuber anything. It does cost the retailer, but they're getting a sale that they may not have got without you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a tough one, but I'm sure that the retailers would rather not give you a percentage, but they're getting a sale, which if you're sending them to Amazon and rather than Sweetwater or Thomann or wherever, then they're getting that sale. So they are getting money they wouldn't normally get. I am blathering now.
Well, it's actually almost like the textbook definition of affiliate marketing, because affiliate marketing kind of is defined as a performance-based marketing in which a business rewards their affiliates, which is you,
True.
For each visitor or customer brought by the affiliate's own marketing efforts. And this is, you are getting paid for your marketing efforts. So kind of your work pays off.
Right.
I mean, it's not like in the first instance, but like in a second instance.
Okay, do you want to see that photo, everybody? If you're listening to the audio version, I will, of course, explain this.
Oh no! Oh,
There he
he's
is.
going to kill us. So, guys, this is not something that is like a secret. That's actually on a website where the great guys at Thomann are explaining in public how their affiliate program is working. And our friend Henning is one of their testimonials that they actually cite on the website. And it says, the Thomann affiliate program easily accounts for a third of my monthly income. Going to the website and checking if you made a sale becomes an addictive and rewarding experience. And actually, this is where, if you allow, because we're still lacking your number three, the third stream of income. If you allow just to jump in here, I think it's also kind of a big benefit for companies, affiliate links, because it makes the influence that a person on YouTube has actually visible. So you get numbers, and numbers are always good. It's not like a print ad or a banner ad where you maybe get some clicks and maybe some conversions, but this is like the hard sale. So you see, okay, this YouTuber sold X guitars and X pedals whatsoever. So it kind of gives you an idea of their reach and also their value as a promotional partner, as a testimonial for your brand. So yeah, affiliate. I like the idea of affiliate marketing, and it's actually pretty common. I mean, there are so many companies. Guitar Center does it, Musician's Friend does it, and if you look, especially in the US and also in the UK, I mean, there are so many small stores, fishing stores, and like big companies like Canon or Lego. They have big affiliate programs, but also small stores have affiliate programs. And I think it's some sort of kind of European thing to maybe think that affiliate is a little bit dirty. But I think it's like just another very modern and digital way of creating income streams by benefiting and capitalizing on material that you made, and giving people advice from videos, and let them buy what you use. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I've just realized, to simplify, it's quite simply word of mouth marketing, isn't it? It's go to my friend's shop and buy it from there, and then everybody wins. Kind of.
Honestly, I think a Tupperware party feels dirtier to me, because there you have that kind of social pressure. If you're sitting around, if there are 20 people sitting around there trying, oh wow, this is so great, the new shaker and everything, and then at the end of the day, you had some great dinner and you tried out that stuff, and then, okay guys, what do you want to buy? And you feel that kind of social pressure. Oh god, I got to buy something because I was here, I was a guest. Whereas digitally, I mean, everything is you do that in front of your own screen. There's nobody looking over your shoulder.
That's true. It's not commission-based sale, is it? So I remember that being, when I lived in England, there was a electronics store called Dixon's, and I don't think they exist anymore, so I can talk crap about them. And when you'd walk in there, the sales assistant would be like, "Can I help you?" And like they're all working on commission. Maybe not in Dixon's, but in certain shops. So there's a pressured sale there, and certainly with affiliate links, there's no pressure. And absolutely, if you go there via my link, I really, really appreciate it. But if you don't. There's no real comeback for that. But the fact that another way to use affiliate linking, not just for income, is the fact that I can go to a company that I've never worked with before, which is leading us on to our next source of income. And I can say, look, I worked with this company, I put the Thomann, Sweetwater, Amazon links up, and I sold this many products. So as you mentioned earlier, I have proof of sales, which is proof that I did a reasonably good job, at least.
Yeah.
I just want to say that I thought Henning gave us permission to use this photo. Because I thought that you sent it to me in WhatsApp twice.
Yeah,
and I thought you sent it the second
time. I didn't put it in the folder.
Before we go to the kind of biggest and the biggest source of income I have, and the one that most people have a problem with, there is a fourth one. Which, as a joke, I kind of linked into this podcast. At the top of the chat, you can buy some of the Guitar Geek socks. So wow. I have merchandise. I think Michael actually bought some socks and said they're so big you can fit 4 Boss pedals in them. I don't expect anyone to buy any socks with my Guitar Geek logo on there, but when I was on Teespring and making T-shirts, which I did want people to support me with, there was an option to have socks, and I thought, that's hilarious. So that's why socks is at the top of the chat this week. I think if you were to buy some socks, you'd be one of only 2 people in the world to own a pair, so there's that.
Wow. Do they have a serial number stitched in? No.
Yeah, if you buy another pair, you have 3 and 4 because 1 and 2 have already been sold, left and right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Michael, he's in the chat. He has the black version. I need a photo of you wearing those socks, Michael. Please tag the podcast and me on Instagram with your lovely legs. Or actually, no. Please put 4 Boss pedals in these socks. I want to see it.
Awesome. Yeah.
I'm going to remarket them as pedal wrapping.
The pedal sock.
Yeah. The pedal sock.
Keeps your pedals and your feet warm. Multi-purpose socks.
Wow. Multi-purpose socks.
Love it.
What if you could wear the sock with the pedal in it and then
you can activate and deactivate. Wow.
I'm talking about.
There you go. Let me just take a note.
So yeah.
Deactivate.
You're welcome.
Yeah. All right.
Ibanez 2022.
The tube sock.
Screamer sock. The tube. Right, we need to stop this podcast. That's actually pretty good. We need to get them to the people in Japan.
I wonder how many Boss pedals or Ibanez pedals will fit in such a sock. Maybe 3 or 4. Depends on which size you're going for, right? The pedal rock sock. Oh my god, this is good. RT Smudge.
RT Smudge, you are the dude.
Yeah,
RT Smudge is very good at names. He's very good with things like this.
Love it.
Do the socks come with the ornaments? This has gone off on a tangent. I want to get to. So yeah, what I'm trying to say is buy my socks.
Yeah. So except for like making a living from selling socks, which you obviously are, and I know the Porsche is already standing outside. Like, or why do you work with companies? I think this is a little bit like the third stream of income was a little bit in information.
Yeah, we were getting there, and then I went off about socks.
Yeah. So
the main way that I make money from YouTube is to charge companies for me to review their products.
All right.
And that is the way that let me be careful. I think that is the way that many people make money. But that's a whole umbrella. I really nearly swore then. I really nearly dropped an F-bomb. There's a whole F-umbrella. There's a whole umbrella of money that comes directly from a company, a brand, to people that market their products, which ultimately that's what I'm doing. I'm advertising. I'm trying to think of something that isn't that tuner. Let me pick this because it's not been sold anymore, so no one gets anything for it. It's the DoD Buzzbox, the FX33. So I am advertising stuff, but I think people come to me, and I might be wrong, but I think people come to me because I have fun with it, and I'm not trying to stuff things down people's throats. And I genuinely enjoy the stuff I do, which is another umbrella I want to go into in a moment. However, there's influencers, and there's reviewers, and there's demoers, and there's probably more under that umbrella as well. But
yeah,
there's a difference between a demo and a review.
Yeah. No, is there a difference?
I
was just about to say, how would you differentiate between influencer and demo guy?
I can do reviewer and demo. A reviewer has a demo in it, but then gives their opinion. A demo involves no opinion of the product. Just this is what it does. It does that. It sounds like this. If you want to increase the influencer side of that. You say it does this, and it's amazing. Isn't that amazing when it does that? That's so amazing.
All right.
So
Okay.
that's not an honest review. I'm just giving positive words about it.
But that leads me to a very central point. Like when you, I know how we work together, but when you are working with other companies, are they just sending you any kind of gear, or is there some sort of communication, either what would fit the channel in terms of a target group, or what you are very interested in? Because this is how I got to know you. Like Andy's always freaking out when he sees new stuff, like that fireman. I didn't request anything. He was just, oh, I need that. I want to buy it. This one, not the one that comes in July. I need this one. So there was no real negotiation. It was just like, okay, I'll give you a good deal on that, and that's it. So he paid that guitar, and that's it.
Yeah. So
what's the deal usually?
What's your question? Oh yeah, the question. Sorry, you talked about the fireman, and I got all excited. Obviously, I can only talk from my own experience again, but I'm growing, and hang on, rewind. When I started, let me explain the way that I've got to where I am. May I do that in order to answer the question?
Sure.
Then, when I first started my YouTube channel, I reviewed things and made videos of things that I already owned, because I was just a wee young lad sat in this room with a mobile phone. Then I started buying gear to review on the channel for two reasons. One, a justification for buying the gear. And two, I picked some hot products that I thought would bring people to my channel. And I did two products that I bought. One was the Squire Bullet Mustang, which I modded and I played, and it's still here. I still have it. It's a €129 guitar, and I still play it very regularly because I think it's great. The second thing was the Boss Katana range of amps. And now many people know me for doing Boss Katana content. And then, so that was me buying stuff. And then suddenly, I realized you could reach out to companies. I realized there were people that worked at companies. And when I went to TGU and I met you for the first time, Dan. Actually, I'm going to give away an embarrassing story, if you don't mind. It's embarrassing for me, not embarrassing for you. Because not that I'm an expert now, but I have my own experiences. I knew less than nothing back then. And after TGU, you and I had an email conversation and about... Are you sweating now?
No.
Okay. About maybe doing some work together, maybe doing some videos. And there's always this little dance you do at the beginning of these conversations. You know, there's a little dance, and it's very open. And one of you has to say, yes, please take these products. And then the other one has to say, okay, in exchange for that, I would need this. And then that's you do the dance. And you said you'd like to do some videos with me. And I wrote back something like, oh, great. If you could send me the Nita Strauss and that acoustic I was playing and an AZ, then I could really use that on the channel. I can keep it and do all that stuff. And you were like, hold on, buddy.
I don't remember it.
You don't remember it? Oh, man, it haunts me. It haunts me.
Yeah.
Not terribly, but just knowing that we were talking about this, it came up in the back of my mind.
I already had forgotten it. Awesome.
So we got some questions. I will reach out for questions in a minute. So hold your questions right now, and I will give a question and answer section of the video in a bit. Where did I get to? Yeah. So then you start meeting people from brands via social media or in person with you, for example, and you do this dance where and the next step is from buying your own gear, where a company will send you a pedal, for example, and then you make a video, no money changes hands, and you send that product back. And the company, I believe, should pay for that shipping both ways. So the YouTuber is not spending any money, but the YouTuber is not receiving anything. And that's when it comes into product or payment or both. Because then you get to the next stage where people say, oh, we're going to send you this pedal. And I'm saying pedal because they're very easy to send out for shipping and they're relatively cheap to mass produce. Not necessarily the boutique stuff, the mass produced ones. Then you can keep the pedal. So this is the next level. And when you keep, I will answer the questions. Please keep them for a moment. I feel like I'm at a press conference. This is great. I feel important. Please keep your questions to the end, ladies and gentlemen. Mainly because you'll distract me, which you have done already. I don't want to answer the questions. Once you have accepted a piece of gear for making a video, you have been paid. I can talk for many countries, but I can only talk specifically for Austria. But I know it's true in many countries. Once you take a product from a company, you need to declare that in your taxes, and also you now need to make sure people know that you've received that pedal as payment or product as payment. And this is where I was dancing around my notes about being careful what I say here.
Okay.
Because I try to make it as clear as possible now in my videos that I've either been paid for this or I've received this product for, and I'm not going to say for free, because there is no such thing as free, because you're working, it's your time. You've received this stuff in exchange for your time for making the video. I wish this chat wasn't on screen right now, because it's really distracting.
Go on, Iron Man, go on.
So yeah, so that's that level. You have been, at this point you are being paid. Then the next level is where the received product is the level we're at. The next level is to receive product, get paid, send product back.
Okay. So you get, in addition,
which honestly,
to
I
the
didn't.
fee, you get
Yes.
product. Oh, okay.
No, you don't get to keep the pedal, so they're trying to keep the costs down. I keep saying pedal. It could be guitar, it could be amp, it could be whatever. That didn't happen to me at all, but it has happened to other people that I know of, because it kind of makes no sense once you've crossed the barrier of exchanging a fee for a video. Normally, the product stays with you, and if it's a pedal, if it's a guitar, or an amp, that's a relatively more expensive expense for the brand and company.
Yeah, you're so good with words tonight.
Words is good, and the reason is I'm normally just blurting out anything that comes into my head, and I'm trying to stay ahead of what I'm saying.
I'm diplomat.
Not because I don't want to be honest. I want to be honest. I want to be open, and I want to make sure that I do give you all the information that I have, but I don't want to get anyone in trouble because, and I'm going to say this once: some people that do what I do not play by, number one, the rules, and number two, the law. The law.
The law. But actually, it's a if I might jump in here, actually, it's also a tricky bit, because a lot of the regulations and laws have been like modified and has been provided more precision in what they actually mean. And I'm, for instance, like if we as Ibanez, if we work with companies, if we work with Andy, with Henning and others, I usually send you such information. So I'll give you an update. Okay, this is the new regulation, because if you screw up those kind of declarations and kind of disclosing that this is paid advertisement, then we as a company could also be in trouble. So for me, it is important that you play after the rules, and to me there's a minimum standard, and that is there's no doubt about that. And then there's something that it would be nice to have, because the law says, okay, ideally you should have it, but obviously in everyday YouTube it's not even considered by a lot of people. So at some point, I think it's like with the speed limit. If you've got 80-mile speed limit and people are driving 85, you can't go 80, because then they will just kick you in the nuts or something. It's you got to play after the rules, stay within the law, but you kind of have to adjust to how others are playing the game, because don't blame the player blame the game, and regulations. There also is some sort of game, and if authorities are not kind of controlling stuff, and if YouTube is not controlling certain things, then there's a certain routine that kind of pops up, and just some sort of routine that how YouTubers approach that whole topic. Let's put it that way. But with that said, I mean, disclosing if something is a paid review is something that I find absolutely instrumental, because to me it also kind of cleans up what you said, that kind of feeling dirty, if maybe at some point, to sell yourself or to sell your services. If you disclose to your viewer in the beginning, and I got to say, for instance, shout out to Phil McKnight. He was one of the first YouTubers to do that in a very specific, very concise, and very transparent way. So he's like one of the role models whenever I talk about that topic. If you disclose that you got paid for doing that review, then to me everything is fine. You should do that transparent. You should do it upfront, ideally, and also something like if you're using affiliate links, it should be said that these are affiliate links and you receive some sort of kickback. But everything else is just part of the game, you know. And like you said, unfortunately, there are always a couple black sheep that don't play after the rules, or think they can bend the rules. We don't have to dive into that topic.
Or Dan, it's ignorance. Otherwise, there are some people who are just ignorant, and some people who are willfully ignorant.
Yeah. Randy is just making a point. The argument everyone else is doing it's the game, is not cool. I totally agree with you, Randy. But if, especially in European law, if the rules are not very specific, and there are a lot of decisions from cases in court that kind of are the contrary of what the current law books or textbooks says, then to me it is not very strict, or it's not very clear, because then there is an internal conflict in how that law is being interpreted. So and we see that a lot, especially in Europe. A lot of YouTubers or a lot of influencers that are being brought to court, and they win their cases because they kind of just not find the loopholes. They kind of just interpret law in one way and the other way, and then there's an ultimate decision, and let's say 60-70% they win. So to me, and it's also a point at the moment, the social media law is kind of very strict, which is good, but it's also not very let's say not cohesive. That's the wrong word. It doesn't fit into the rest of the world. If you go to the cinema and watch a James Bond movie, there is so much product placement. But at which point are you?
Did you see the video that was being shared around?
Yeah.
There's a specific video on YouTube. Did you watch it with Help Me Out? Help Me Out. Who did this? Henning shared the video, but I can't remember who it was.
Let me quickly. I think that was Tom Scott. YouTubers have to declare ads.
Tom Scott.
Yeah.
There's another thing that social media people are more tightly policed than people on TV or in movies. And I agree with you. Things should be strict, and this is where I absolutely try and play by the rules, because I cannot risk losing my source of income, which is this. But ultimately, and I say this with brands that I work with, I serve only one group of people, and that is the people that watch my videos. And if that brand cannot fit in with the rules that I have, because I have been asked in the last month to here's me being diplomatic, to the phrase that was used, we want to ensure a 100% positive review now that we are paying you.
Okay.
That exact phrase was used in an email.
Wow.
And I just said, I'm sorry, that is not going to happen. There is no such thing as a perfect product. And it's my job and my responsibility as a YouTuber, or my responsibility as a human being who's talking to other human beings. If something is pretty good, but has, I don't know, some tiny thing wrong with it. Maybe it's the best pedal in the world, but it kills your power supply. or whatever, or it's a great guitar, but I wish the input jack didn't fall out every time I plugged it in. Small, tiny things, but they have to be said. And people are putting their trust in me by watching the videos and maybe buying from the affiliate links. And I think possibly one of the most important points I can make is that if I make a video about a product and I review it and I give it a perfect review and I say this is amazing, then a group of people buy this product, it comes to their house, they play it or they play with it, and it's absolute crap. I've lied to these people, they've got the honest truth, and they will never trust me again, and they will also not trust the brand, or there's a sliding scale of that, of course.
Yep.
And then, of course, I lose my viewership, and then I'm useless to the brands.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to explain this to the company that sent me that email. And actually, Ryan from 60 Cycle Hum is in the chat right now, and he said that only once he's had to have a brand try to micromanage the content of the video, and he never worked with them again. This is a very rare occurrence for me, a very rare occurrence. I don't deal with this daily. Most people I deal with are absolutely super cool or uneducated, because they don't know the rules, they don't know the law. And of course, people want a product reviewed positively.
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of lost my train of thought, but yeah, that's happened.
Integrity and credibility is key, right, for you? Otherwise,
yes,
you just
absolutely
shut the doors and start going fishing instead of doing videos. Yeah.
So I have a rule that I don't review anything that I just think is absolute rubbish, because I like to keep content positive, and I like to have a positive YouTube channel. That being said, if there is a product that I see lots of videos for that is, this is a great product, this is the best new whatever, and I think it isn't, then I will release that video of mine, because I think it needs to give my point of view, because maybe other YouTube channels or other influencers or other places have been paid to say the things they're being paid to say.
Mm-hmm.
Again, very rare. But I did some negative videos in the past, and the views were astronomical. If you say stuff like, this is the worst amp I've ever played, people will watch that video.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just human nature. Why is it the worst? And on the other side of that argument, this is the best overdrive pedal I've ever played. People will call you out for lying. So we're human beings.
Good.
It's so good.
Good. Yeah. So, but going back to the initial question. So basically, do you get to pick? Do you get to pick what you review, or is it a mix?
Sorry, we didn't answer the question. When I was uneducated and had no path, and quite honestly was grabbing at any money that would come my way. And not in a sense that I would take the money to do anything I wanted, but if I thought something was borderline not my favorite thing, I might still make the video yet. Now, I now know the people that watch my videos. Hello, everybody. And I kind of know who I am and what I want to play, what excites me, what makes me feel happy, and those are the best videos I make. Which is definitely the most fun. I do this, of course I do this for the money. I need to feed my family. There's no question there. However, I do this because I absolutely flip and love it. I am very lucky to do what I do, and I work very, very hard and very long hours, and it is a tough job. However, I know how lucky I am. I work surrounded by guitars. I don't get to play them very often, but I work surrounded by guitars and stuff. And anybody complaining about that is a fool and doesn't deserve to be in that job. And there are people that are complaining. However, every time I upload a video, I have enjoyed myself in making that video. Sometimes the things I've done in the video, the products or whatever, are not I always want to release the best. Every video I want to be better than the last one. And that doesn't mean I have to say nice things about the product. It means I have to have had more fun, or been more silly, or put more silly Easter eggs in the video to make myself laugh. So to answer your question, finally, yes, as of this date and as of a few months, I do choose the products, or try to choose the products that come onto my channel. However, as we've mentioned several times about me going metal, I'm trying to expand that as well. But mainly because I have fun with it. So my channel, for me, is about being honest, and I always tell this to companies. The base of my channel is honesty and integrity and having fun. I'm not a good enough guitar player to say, this is how this product works. Doesn't it sound great?
All right. So there was
Did
another
I answer your question finally?
Yeah. There was one question from Mark, I said, to ask if companies are checking the content prior to releasing it.
Good question. Okay, now we're getting into law as well. Also, the company that asked me to do the I almost said the name there. The company that said they wanted to have a 100% positive review. They wanted to see the video beforehand.
Okay.
And I said no, and I will say no to every company because, and I didn't realize this until about 2 weeks ago, once a company sees a video before it goes online, that is 100% advertising. Then it doesn't come into any reading the chat, it doesn't come into under any other umbrella. It is paid advertising, which changes the law. You're no longer influencer marketing, you are 100% advertising, which is weird. But if a video has been checked, it's advertising 100%. Even
under control.
Even if the video still says this is rubbish or this is bad, it's still, in the eyes of the law, an advertising video.
Yep. Which I can fully understand, because at that point you're under potential control from the company. There's that kind of freedom of press thought, that there is no censorship whatsoever. And to me, kind of sending that video out prior to the release would be some sort of potential censorship. So in order to kind of avoid that conflict of interest, I'm completely agree with you. That should be a no-go. So if you're like a YouTuber and you're beginning with doing reviews, be careful if companies are asking to see the videos ahead. I mean, if you send them some snippets of how it sounds, they'll probably be over the moon. This is stuff that I receive from YouTubers like Max, for instance. Hi Max, all the time. But I never get any kind of can you do a pre-review or stuff like that? That's just not happening. It's okay, this is a cool demo, video is going live tomorrow. Can you promote it? Or, stuff like that. And that's completely cool. But as soon as there's some sort of company control over the actual content, I think it's a very difficult game. And it's 100% advertisement, of course. It's like a commercial. It's like producing a commercial.
There's one caveat. If I'm doing a video about something that not a guitar, something that has switches and stuff on it, and I'm not sure if I'm doing it correctly or if there's something that I'm missing, I will speak to the company and say, hey, I had this issue, or I think I'm missing something. I will check with them before I finish the video.
Yeah, but isn't that the kind of making sure that it works properly? I mean, that's kind of customer service, right?
Yes.
I mean,
absolutely. But I'm just saying this. Yeah, I'm just saying that I do sometimes speak to companies, just again to be transparent. Just checking this tube screamer pedal down. Is that big knob in the middle? Is that the volume?
Yeah. Well, then I give you a reply, and no other questions asked. Yeah.
However, sometimes I might say, every time I do this, I get a funny squeaking noise. Is that supposed to happen? And they'll say no. I say, okay, either I've got a faulty unit.
Yeah.
Because I have done that in the past where I've released a video and the unit was faulty. I had to take the video down and reshoot it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that happened before. I mean, I've been working with a lot of YouTubers previously, and to me, it's also like the field test. Lately with the whole pandemic happening, we haven't even been able to get enough samples, so we had to ship out stuff without even QCing that. So I got to trust in the factories, and if something is effed up, I don't want to see that on a channel just because the YouTuber received a faulty instrument, which happens. I mean, there are people involved, and that something can happen is just normal. That's why we are actually QCing everything. But when it comes to those sort of reviews, that kind of feedback from you guys, if something should be faulty, I think that's super valuable for companies too, because it doesn't influence your
Yes.
Your opinion or your verdict about the product, but it actually gives very important feedback of the product development or product improvement. I think there are certain companies, let's mention just Ref, for instance, that have benefited big time from YouTuber and influencer feedback. So that's also some sort of knowledge, gaining knowledge for the companies too.
Yeah, it's market research. I do this pretty much all day, every day, and if I think something's not right, I'll contact the company and say, "You really sure you want to release this?" Or and they have to choose whether I'm an authority. I'm not saying I'm an authority. They choose, and there are people watching. I know they're asking questions about when to reach out and how to build relationships with companies. That's another show altogether. However, to slightly dip into that, the better relationship you have with that company, the better content you will create. And I do not mean you have to be friends with them. I mean you have to be honest and open with them. And for example, quite right now, I'm talking to my friend Dan, my co-host Dan, but also the guy that gets me paid from Ibanez. Yep. And we are professional enough to be able to divide those three things. And the guy that sends me Lego and Star Wars memes. It's that's the good stuff.
Yeah.
But I know that when we do Ibanez stuff, it's a different relationship.
We got to negotiate video prices, for instance. We got to negotiate what goes on the channel and what not. We got to negotiate, how's the development of the channel. So I got to assign certain budgets for social media work and stuff like that. So that's like the company point of view. So why do I send you a guitar? Because I'm expecting exposure. I'm expecting some sort of feedback too, some resonance, and not necessarily just 100% positive feedback, because I know that a $200 Geo cannot be competitive to a 3,000 euros J Custom, but I expect a proper, well done review. And if you point out some flaws of the instrument, so be it. That's just the nature of the game, because nothing is perfect. But as long as the demo itself provides some additional value to the viewer, I think then your mission is accomplished, and I'm totally fine, because then I have another outlet for my gear. I don't have just Ibanez.com. I don't just have Ibanez Facebook. I have a third-party channel that has some sort of credibility, and that has a subscriber base that trusts those people, and who's able with their, like you are able with your playing to enthuse people about crazy noises and walls of sound, and even to enthuse people about metal guitars that are so good. Yeah.
Well, let's be honest now. The Ibanez GRGR, which is so good, when it arrived at my place, the action was too low.
Oh wow!
It had come straight from the factory, and I told you about this. And in my video that I made, which is not on the channel yet, I need to get that finished because I need to get paid. I say I have tweaked the truss rod on this because it came from another country on the other side of the world, and the action was just a little bit low.
Yep.
It would be unfair and unprofessional of me to say this guitar is crap. The action's horrible. That's not fair on the product or the potential guitar players that want to buy that guitar. I haven't done my job if I do that, I consider.
Yeah.
Ryan just made a comment from 60 Cycle Hum that it's common to get pedals that are still in prototype phase, and he's sent back a few pedals because they weren't ready to film yet. Absolutely. Again, market research. And the guys in the chat are making me laugh. So Poo Ninja said that I review fuzz pedals that are supposed to sound broken. I did the Silver Machine from Jupiter Effects, and I genuinely thought that pedal was broken. Genuinely, it sounded so good that, but it just sounded horrible, but in the best way. But I wanted to make sure that the one I had was supposed to sound like that, because if so, then it's great. If not, then I'm just lucky that I have that particular pedal because I love it.
Yeah.
Should we move on to some questions, or is that the end of the interview? Or? Oh no, wait, no, something very important. Centered, right. When I upload a video to YouTube, I have to fill out a video description, tags, thumbnail, all that sort of back-end stuff that takes forever. However, for a while now, there's a little tick box you can tick that says, this video is paid promotion, or something like that. So you can choose, the uploader, whether you say that video is paid promotion. When you click that little tick box that says this video is paid promotion, there's an overlay that comes up. This bloody ugly thing from not Ibanez, from YouTube. Whoa. Hang on, rewind. There's this bloody ugly thing from YouTube that comes up and says paid promotion on the video. Now, if we refer back to my previous comment, back to paragraph 463, this Laboga cab that's behind me right now, I did not pay for that. I did not get paid for it, but I received that in exchange for a couple of videos. If I feature that in a video, if I feature the Marshall one there, that's a paid promotion because I received that product without any charge. So even if I'm not being paid for the review of, oh crap, where is it? This Buzzbox, there we go. So that's a Buzzbox pedal that I bought. If I do that video, I still have to say that it's paid promotion because I'm featuring a guitar or an amp that I have received. And this is the dodgy ground where a lot of people are not understanding, and I certainly am not going to name names, but there are a lot of people on YouTube not clicking the paid promotion button when they should be. And one of the reasons they're not is either ignorance, or when some viewers see that paid promotion button, they switch off because it says, paid promotion. I'm not watching that. It's just an advert. No. That's not the case. So
brought up that point that started in the tech tube world with a major fallout a few years ago. So they added the paid promotion button. But here's the thing. I mean, the paid promotion button is something that is provided by YouTube. So that's actually a third party. That's a company. So you cannot hold them liable. If you tick that box and it doesn't pop up, you cannot hold them liable that they didn't, announce that it's paid promotion. So actually, if you want to be very specific, you got to include it in your video because that is your original content. And I wouldn't just rely on that little ugly tick box or comment there.
Well, this is where we go back to Phil McKnight, because I now put overlays. I have product supplied, paid video, or I bought this, and there's a fourth one which I've never actually used yet. Yeah. But then it's only referring to the product, the main star of that video.
Mm-hmm.
And I've relaxed now, so I'm happy being honest. I've got over the main hurdle of this conversation.
Awesome. Yeah.
And another thing. But often when I talk with companies that are new to YouTube, which happens more often than you'd imagine, if I'm honest, they'll say, can we send you a guitar, a pedal or something? How does it work? Do we pay, and they mean, do we pay you and do you keep the product? And that's always negotiable. I can't eat pedals is Henning's famous line. I can't eat pedals. You can resell them, of course. Which I do. That's another form of income. I keep clipping this clip tuner on my finger. I'm a fiddler. So another way to quickly earn income is to receive said product, then do video, then sell product. Therefore, you have got an income. However, I do that because I can't keep all the things that I have. However, I don't do it straight away. It stays with me for at least 6 months to a year on most cases. And that's when I explain to these companies that I am absolutely going to try and charge you because that's what I want. However, if you want that product back, depending on what it is, you might gain more value for money by having that product featured in other videos on the channel.
Yep. Sure.
Which is also sometimes code for, I really want to keep it and I'm finding reasons to justify that decision.
Gotcha.
But also it is true. For example, the Prestige guitar that I have, I'll get it. I'm attached by a cable. Come on, you little beast. There it is. This Prestige DC Coupe. I have more questions about that guitar than any other guitar in my videos.
Mm-hmm.
I could be playing something else and people will say, what's that gold guitar on the back wall? Prestige made the right decision by leaving that guitar with me. They did not pay me for a video. They lent the guitar with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo!
So Steve says, so basically get free gear or send it back and get paid. No. Usually that's just the point that Andy was making. Usually getting paid and keep, like if it's something small like a pedal, or like getting paid and getting paid more and send it back. Right?
Yes, and also just to correct that, Steve, there's no such thing as free gear because you're working for that video. You're
Right.
giving hours of your life, and time is the only true currency. So
Yeah.
be very careful with the phrase "free gear."
Yeah.
It's a nice, easy way to explain keeping something and not actually paying for it with money from your account. There's no such thing as free gear. If people knew how much work it takes to actually run a YouTube channel, and get over the several hurdles to get to the small stage that I'm at, most people don't continue.
Mm-hmm. I mean, as a hobbyist, I might accept that kind of phrase if you're
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
very enthusiastic hobbyist and a company's interested in your work and they give you like free gear. This is something that you do anyways. But if it's your job, I mean, you can enjoy your job, but if it's your job, it's never free. And it's also,
Well, let me refer to my initial statement, Daniel. That is, I can only speak for myself, and these are my views. Yeah, I do this as a job. But if you're doing it as a hobby,
yeah.
I want to answer one of the questions that came up in the chat earlier: when to approach companies about getting sent gear, and when to start that dance of, do we get paid? Blah blah blah. I know we're running over about 1 hour 40, but I definitely want to answer this question. So let me make that more concise. The question that was asked by Krenar was something like, at what point, I've got about 500 subscribers, should I start contacting companies to work with them? The answer to that is yesterday. And yes, you should say, I want to charge you money. Because if someone with 500 subscribers is charging money and I've got 35,000 subscribers, I can justify me charging money when I charge money.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you'll get paid with 500 subscribers, and I think that you should not ask for money, but I think that's the mindset that you should be in. You have value. Whether your value is enough to justify money or free product is not for me to decide. However, there's people getting paid with 1,000 subscribers. They're not getting paid very much. But I think it's a classic thing of sales, Dan. I've got 500 subscribers. I just need to charge you 10 euros for the video. If you can get money from that company, even though it's only 10 euros,
mm-hmm.
you've got money from that company. So when you've got 1,000 subs, I've got to charge 25 now, just to keep it moving. Next thing you know, you've got 10,000, and you're charging an actual something that could to be a fair exchange for your time.
Yep.
And once you've got money from someone, it's easier to get more money.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially nowadays, companies, and I can only speak from my perspective, but I think it's a trend that companies are seeking more also like micro influencers. And with micro, I don't, necessarily mean like 460 subs, but maybe 1,000 or 3,000. So a channel can be rather small as long as it is niche and it has like a certain purpose. So if there's a YouTuber that has a very small following but can demo stuff in a very, very interesting or very unique way, I think a lot of companies will be intrigued by that. Some might be, put off a little bit because they're not used to stuff like that, but some will, jump on the train. One example is our friends from German music reviews. They do those hilarious reviews, and they started as such a small channel, but you could feel and you could tell that they spent so much time and invested so much time and so much heart into producing those videos because they really like doing it and they like demoing that stuff. And my buddy at work, Frank, and I, when we saw their channel for the first time, we just fell off our chairs from laughing. And those kind of channels that can surprise you or can give you some X factor. I think these are the most interesting ones for companies, because if you are on a big channel, you are, as a company, you are maybe a small fish in a very big pond. Whereas if you are on a micro influencer channel, you're probably the big fish in a rather small pond, but all the fish in there are very similar, and it's very homogeneous. So yeah, that's just my understanding and how I approach those things. And I think it doesn't necessarily comes down to how many subs you got. It comes down to how good the quality is and also the exposure, because you can have a small channel that overperforms in certain instances, that has occasional viral hits. You don't have that steady following of 10,000 or 50,000 or 100,000 subs, but you have occasionally, let's say, 15,000 views on a video that's very good. That's cool for me. I totally cooperate with a channel like that. So I think it's a mixture of having a very good and high quality content with a lot of love that is well recorded, and you present the product in a very unique way. I think this is the most interesting point for me as a brand director. Yeah,
It's interesting to hear you say that, and everybody, I think Dan is very good at his job, really brilliant. But he's also very good at his job in that he doesn't give anything away. You know what I'm saying? So no. Dan does not give something away. He's a businessman, as we both are. I'm running a business here ultimately, and I just want to answer some questions that have just come up that are relevent.
Can I just quickly add one? Because you said we're not giving anything.
Please, yeah.
That is correct, but we've been very strict. We've never ever had anyone do work for us without getting paid. So even if you had a small channel, we would compensate to some degree. And I find that very important, because once there's the legal point, because we pay insurance. There's an artist insurance. So Henning, Andy, and all those guys, if they would be registered as artists, they could actually benefit from those kind of insurances. So we pay X percent of the amount of what we pay for the video on top into that kind of insurance. So that's one point. And the other point is, like you said, you cannot eat a pedal. So at some point, I don't want to see someone doing reviews on stuff and know that they worked for zero money, because that's just not fair. And I think as a company, it's got to be a give and take, and not just I take, and you're my slave, and you work for me. I think that's a very important point, and I'm very happy that a lot, not all companies, I'm very diplomatic here, not all companies see it that way, but I think a lot of companies have now that kind of work ethic. So I think we're getting there.
I think so too. I think there's a fairness, and again, back to honesty. Nobody wants to work with someone who they don't like. It's necessary sometimes, but it's just about honesty and fairness. But yeah, thank you for saying that. Dale asked Dale pointed out that it took me a long time to get to somewhere where I was being paid. Absolutely. You've got to pay your dues. And I had a nervous breakdown. I was a shell of a person for a good 6 months, not because of the YouTube channel, but because the way my life was going. And it was hard work. It still is hard work. But I was working 2 jobs. I was doing the YouTube channel. I was teaching, and I was underperforming in everything I was doing, in my opinion, because I was doing too much. I'm not saying, and I don't wish that upon anybody, but please do not expect that you can open a YouTube channel and suddenly start getting paid for it. You do need to have some worth. You do not need to have a certain number of subscribers, as we've said already, but you have to have some value and some worth. And if you're just making people laugh, then that's enough, you know. Or if you're making people shocked with the level of your amazing playing. But the thing you do have to do is find out what it is that you do that makes you special. You might just have great hair, for example.
Well, then you're probably the next L'Oreal testimonial.
Exactly. Damn, that L'Oreal money. Give me that L'Oreal dollar. There are some other questions that I missed, but something about on the flip side, I think we're going to have to bring this to a halt soon because I'm getting to other topics, but small companies working with large YouTubers. So flip it on its head, you know. Companies that have just brought out a new product and maybe they don't have the marketing budget, which is normally a wrong way to say it. So hang on, let me back up. Person has great idea for guitar-based product. Person wants to release said product, doesn't have a lot of money, may reach out to someone like me. If I truly believe that they don't, and I'm not going to try and take their money. If I truly believe that they think what they're doing is phenomenal and the product seems half decent, or at least has a chance, of course I'm going to do that and not charge the company. It feels good to give back to someone. What it doesn't feel good is when a large company tries that, which you know have a marketing budget. Or, for example, no names, careful Andy, when a company, when a company does a Kickstarter project, and Ryan's in the chat and he'll probably know who I'm talking about, and they email you saying, we raised 3,000 times our expected goal on Kickstarter. Now the product's ready to go. Would you like to take a look at it? And you say, yeah, sure. My video fee is, and here's my video fee, everybody, 350 euros. That's the current fee I'm on per video. That's my target fee. And then they say, oh, we don't have the marketing budget to send you money, but we can send you a product and you can keep it. And well, you've just told me in your initial email that you earned 3,000 or you made 3,000 times your goal. Why isn't your marketing budget included in that?
Yeah.
Oh, we don't consider this a review. We just want to see what you think about the product. And
you know what that reminds me of? It's like having a band and you are asked to play for exposure. Is that pretty similar?
Exactly.
All right, you can keep that 10 euros product, but give me your 30,000 subs.
Yeah, so every case, I believe, is unique.
Yep. Absolutely.
Alternatively, if I really like the person that works at that large company and they say, hey, Andy, can you just make us a video on this thing for this month? And I'm like, that's not too much work. I think I might enjoy that. Yes, if I can fit it in.
Yeah.
Very rare. Very rare. Or if it's an idea that I have that I don't think will benefit the company in any way, then it's fine. I'm
Yeah.
Actually, I had a lot of fun tonight, Dan. I'm enjoying this.
Actually, yeah. I mean, it was this rather serious talk, but I think that's that part of, that kind of almost like union work that Henning and you do for the YouTubers to kind of really make a point and saying, guys, don't sell yourself too cheap and make sure that you're getting paid for the money and for the time you invest in your videos. I think that's a very important point, because actually those kind of that whole YouTuber community is something that is thriving and should be thriving, because it creates that diversity and great community that we right now in the live stream are actually enjoying big time. And if there is like one thing to just point out for me from that night, is that like any channel over a certain amount of subs that presents gear is paid. In what way? That might differ, but they either receive products or receive discounts, or receive some other other amounts of money or whatever. So everyone who's having a professional channel is paid to some degree, and this is something that people got to understand. And but it's not bad. So personally, I would vote to have, for instance, more opportunities for affiliate marketing. To have more opportunities for small companies, let's say in Austria, providing smaller YouTubers a way to interact with them and get a little bit of their share of sales and benefit from that. And I think at the moment it's a little bit crooked. I don't know if that's the right word, but it's a little bit an interesting development, because the music industry is such a big and such a colorful industry, but especially that field of kind of influencer marketing, affiliate marketing, is, especially in Europe, a little bit underdeveloped, if I might say so.
True.
So
True.
I would hope for more diversity. I would encourage everyone, either as a hobbyist or as a full-time job, to start it. If you love what you do, people will ultimately love it. And also other companies. If a company, even a small store, has a niche and they are selling gear, and let's say they are the number one store in the north of England for metal guitars. All right, let's do some sort of affiliate marketing with the hottest metal guitarists, in your surroundings. So this is it's a very new approach, but I think especially COVID has shown us that paradigm shift happened already. And if you want to be successful, you got to find new ways to get exposure and outreach. And I think that whole online community is so great to reach that goal. So it's just, I highly encourage everyone to get involved and get fun out of that. Don't let yourself be bullied by others or negative comments. Just get that positive sides of those videos and comments, and be a great community. Amen.
Yeah, and amen. Yeah. Dan and I have a thing called soapbox, where, when you step on your soapbox, sometimes we're texting each other, and I'm like, and this, and I think that, and then, ooh, and he's on his soapbox. And that happens sometimes. And I've spent a lot of time on my soapbox tonight, but I'm doing it because I know stuff about this. It's my personal experience. I have an opinion, but also ultimately I'm trying to help people, because I know there's some people listening and watching right now that either have a YouTube channel and are not where they wish to be, which is absolutely everybody that has a YouTube channel. No matter what you're doing, you want more, and that's always going to be true. So don't think you're going to finally catch that dragon. You're going to be chasing that dragon for the rest of your life. Yeah. And I've kind of lost my train of thought, but there is nothing like, for me, meeting up with other YouTubers who technically should be my competitor as a business. But there is nothing like meeting up with Ryan, for example, Henning, anybody I can mention, and just standing near them and knowing that they know. And they know what it's like. And I'm not complaining. It's, again, I am super lucky and I love what I do, but it's bloody hard. And unless you're doing it, no one knows. My girlfriend doesn't know what I do in this room. I sit here and play guitar and fiddle with a computer and talk to this microphone. She won't. If you don't do it, you don't understand. It's the same as any musician. When you talk to a non-musician, they don't get it. They don't get the passion you have. And if you're into Lego, for example, and someone else isn't into Lego, whatever your thing is, the people whose that thing is not their thing won't get it. It's incredibly dull, incredibly hard work. Sorry, incredibly hard work. It is. But there was one thing I wanted to say, Dan. I think I'm pretty much ready to step down off this box. But when you're watching these videos, and this is to the viewers of my videos and any video in which a product is being featured, so the new pedal is being released, example, there is a responsibility of the viewer to judge whether the person you're watching is trustworthy or not. So people will lie to you. And I've said several times in this video that I think honesty is very, very key. But there are people who will not tell the truth because they're trying to get money. You have a responsibility as a viewer to decide whether you trust that person or whether that person is trying to pull the wool over your eyes. And just because we put paid content at the beginning of our video does not mean that we're lying. So you guys have a responsibility too. And I have a responsibility to you. Some people don't feel that way. Yeah. Oh, it's high on this soapbox. It's a bit cold up here.
But yeah, that was so right. And like Valeria just said, people don't get to see all the work that goes into that. They just see the final product. So, I think as long as you...
just to answer Steve's question, Steve's asked this
please.
question several times. You're not blocked or anything. It's just I didn't see your question. As I said a few times in the video, if you get paid for a review, you are not being paid to do a positive review. You're being paid for your time.
Yep. Shall we do like a very quick Q&A then to just answer a couple? Like, if you have questions,
sure,
drop them right now. Let's do like a power round of Q&A. All right.
Go. Yeah, so silence because there's actually a 20-second delay on this video between the live chat.
There was one question earlier that was asking if artists do have to declare ads. I think that's a very interesting point because this is where currently the laws are not very precise, and this is the point that I was making because this is no legal advice at all. But at that point, like an artist would have to declare basically every single post he's doing as an ad. So that doesn't make any sense to me. So basically artists, especially like I can only speak for Ibanez, but if an artist gets gear from us, they pay for it. They pay less than what you would pay in a store, but they pay a certain amount of money. And there is no contractual like specific use that goes with the product. So they basically buy the product and they can do what they want with it. They can sell it, they can destroy it, they can play it. So I do not have any contract with them. We don't even have an artist contract, for instance, except for a couple like artists that receive royalties for signature gear. But when you are an artist with Ibanez Germany, you don't have a contract. You just pay your gear, you buy your gear, and you pay less, and that's it. So what you do with it is completely up to you. And this is the point. There's no control from the company side what you are doing. I think this is what you also wanted to point out, Andy. There's no control of the actual content that you are doing. You can do a horrible review. You can say that's the worst guitar ever, but you bought it, so that's completely fine. But like I stated earlier, currently laws are not very, very, very specific, or they are maybe a little bit uber strict when it comes to that. So from a legal standpoint, you would actually have to declare almost everything as an advertisement, but that's not very, let's say, realistic. Because then if you would scroll through Instagram, everything would be declared as ad. So it's not working that way. Same with Facebook or even with TV shows. Oh, Mr. Bond, nice watch. It's Rolex, beautiful. Stuff like that. I mean, I wonder how a James Bond movie would look like if you would always have immediate overlays that said paid promotion. I think that would be hilarious. Paid promotion.
I wouldn't watch it. I probably would watch it, but I'd watch it. Who am I lying? I love James Bond.
All right. More questions.
I was laughing kind of when you were doing your little talk there because I was reading the comments. So sorry for being disrespectful, but we didn't get any questions, I think, that were actually related to the topic, but proving that this community is everything I want it to be, we had silly questions.
That's great.
So we had from Michiel, what's the worst Ibanez guitar you reviewed? Well, Michiel, the worst guitar I reviewed was not actually the fault of the guitar, but the fault of me. I did an RG last year, and the video never went live because I didn't think I did. I didn't get the guitar. I didn't. It was the wrong. To go back to Dan's question earlier, somehow Dan and I screwed up, and I did the wrong guitar from me at that time. So it absolutely was the worst Ibanez I've ever played because it was not for me. it was quite an expensive guitar. And it was beautiful. And it was really well made. But my video was terrible. I didn't air it. There, serious answer to a silly question. You're welcome. How many hairs have I shipped across the world packing and unpacking guitar boxes? Valeria had the correct answer, which is not enough. Actually, I accidentally sent a pedal back to someone recently. My son put an Ocean's 11 from Electro Harmonics in a guitar box, and it arrived back at the guitar company's headquarters. I hope I get that back. My son's very happy, very helpful. What's my favorite Ibanez model, current or discontinued? Top of your head, Dan. What's the favorite one? Quick, no thinking.
8100.
Of course, Mr. Andy Timmons. I'm going to have to say something from 1981. Okay, here's a good one. Alexis Guitars. If you just bought a product yourself as a hobby YouTuber, is it still advertising because it's a 10-minute video about a specific product? This is not legal advice. We are not qualified to give legal advice. We can give an opinion.
Yep. So basically, there are some recommendations if you need to declare that as promotion or not. And basically, they say if you have a product that you bought from your own motivation because you wanted to have it without any commercial support from third parties or any incentives from third parties, then, and they say, and it's here, they say no, and then in brackets it says usually. So you see, it's not very specific, but like basically if you bought the product and there's no third party kind of controlling you or kind of supervising you or having any influence on what you are doing there, then you're a hobbyist and you do it just for fun. Just be careful if you do it very regularly and you only like have, specific products, then people might think, okay, there might be some sort of connection, like industry connection. So it's like with eBay classified ads or something. If you are selling stuff, if you're selling 5 pair of shoes per month, okay, but if you're selling 100 pairs of shoes per month, you're probably like a commercial user. So be careful with that. Yeah, but still, no legal advice. I'm just making a point that, check the laws of your specific country and try to stick within what is said and also look what others are doing. Not saying that they have to do it right, but how they do it. Like said, Phil McKnight, like Andy, like Henning, nobody's perfect, but at least everyone tries to be as transparent as possible. And
Sure.
There's nothing worse than not even trying. If you tried and you failed, then at least you tried. And this is something that, a lawyer will also take into consideration, or a judge at that point. Yeah. All right. Anything else?
Sarang, so what counts as third-party influence? What about brand-specific sales around Black Friday? I might be motivated by a company's discounts to pull the trigger.
That's interesting, yeah.
It's very interesting. My personal opinion on that is the same as what Dan just said. No company is forcing you specifically.
Correct.
They're not giving you specifically a discount. They have 100 products and they're going to sell those at a discounted price. If you choose to buy one, and what you choose to do with that product is up to you. Also refer to what Dan just said. So again, there's only one thing I can pretty much guarantee, and that is that no one knows the answer to any of this stuff because it's new ground legally.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's kind of interesting because you could compare it. Like if you have a guitar and it's a Black Friday sale and you get 50% off, that might be equal to what an artist got as a discount. I'm not saying that they receive 50% off, but just as an example. So it's kind of similar in the actual amount that's being deducted. But like I said, when the artist or an influencer gets gear for less amount of money, then there is some then this deduction is a compensation for the use that they are bringing to you as a third party, as a company. Whereas if you just buy a product, then the decrease of price is just like a marketing tool to me. It's like they're kind of luring you into buying the product because you think it's so cheap. They're very likely still making a profit, a smaller profit, but still making a profit. But yeah, if you buy a product as a private person, you don't have to classify that. Of course not.
There is
But
one
still,
other
no legal
situation, I guess. Another situation, I guess, is, for example, this microphone and the microphone Dan is using. We both paid for these. The company that produces these mics did not discount them in any way. I did reach out to this company and say, hey, I'm looking for some microphones. It would be really great to use these. However, they said no. They didn't refuse. There wasn't enough value in what I was offering, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But you may have noticed that the microphones have stickers on them, so we're not promoting the brand that makes them. However, I love this microphone, and Dan loved it so much that he also bought one a little later down the road, and I will be making a video about it. So there's another area where I do this professionally. However, I bought that, and I want to make a video because I want to share with you guys. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
No one knows the answer to these things, but I guess use your common sense, tell the truth, and look at other examples on YouTube. There's so many out there that you can just and ask people that might know. Reddit is extremely useful, not for legal advice, but for opinions and previous information.
Yeah, and especially within EU, you usually have those kind of white papers or brochures that give you like a rough overview of how to act. So if you stick to those kind of roadmaps, you're always on the safe side. Yeah.
Do you have the link to that because it's a PDF, isn't it? That you've sent me that PDF.
Yeah, that's a PDF. I gotta check. I can send it to you.
Maybe we can put it in the video description.
Yeah,
because a few people might find that interesting.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Again, not legal advice, but just some really good guidelines. And I think we've wrung all the water out of this sponge. That's a new expression that I'm trying to bring into.
And you've done it, Mr. Swiss.
I did it.
There you go.
I think I only if anyone got upset by the things I said, then they're guilty. That's what I'm going to say. I mentioned no names. If I've upset you with the things I've said, then you are doing something wrong, and it's in your conscience. Also, welcome to the channel.
Yeah. And thanks to, we had like 80 to 90 people at some point, so still 75 sticking around. Thanks so much for all of you guys for checking out this episode. Always a pleasure. And I think you were so nervous, and I think it was a very, very interesting and very good episode. So thanks, Andy, for your time and for sharing all those insights. Because, for me, it was like a company perspective, but for you, it's very personal, and it's like part of, your job and your income. So it was very personal. So thanks for sharing all that. I hope we could shed some light here and give you some behind the scenes information and looks into how all of that is working. If you have any more questions, you can send us an email at guitarstoriespodcast@gmail.com or on Instagram. And of course, we always appreciate if you give us a iTunes rating, because that will help us to increase visibility of the Guitar Stories podcast. 5-star rating, yeah.
5-star rating. It's really difficult to do that, but you can also thumbs up this video if you're watching the YouTube version. You can leave us some comments. We'd also like maybe some suggestions for future videos, because I'm sure every time we talk, we we pose more questions than we answer. So yeah, I'd like to know exactly what people receive from us and questions and any guests that they would like to request, because you never know. You never know who we might be able to get. We've got some great guests coming up in the next few weeks.
Oh yeah.
Some people I can't even talk about. We can't talk about. Oh, it's exciting.
Oh yeah.
All right. Okay. I am going to go and watch Snowpiercer on Netflix.
I watched it last night. Really? Isn't that great?
Are you up to date?
No, not at all. I'm just in episode 4, I guess. So, but isn't that a great show, man? I love the movie, but
I really enjoy that show.
That TV show is great.
Not quite Mandalorian. Well, I watched season 1 before I watched the movie. So I watched season 1, then the movie. Now I'm on season 2, and there's an episode waiting upstairs. Well, waiting on the internet for me. But yes,
All right.
I've had a wonderful time, and I guess the reason I agreed to do this video, Dan didn't force me in any way, by the way, he was fine with us not doing it, is that the subject absolutely fits the way I want to run my YouTube channel, and that's honesty and transparency whenever possible. Apart from when I cut out the bits of me playing bad guitar in my videos. I guess that's the only part where I'm not honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for sticking around. We love what we do. We have great fun. I look forward to every Tuesday, and I look forward to next Tuesday, where we bring you more revelations from the guitar world.
Ooh. All right. Well, thanks so much.
right.
Have a great night, and let's pierce some snow.
Let's pierce some snow.
I'm being silly right now, okay?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go and pierce. That sounds like you're going outside to use the toilet. Definitely time to end the stream. Okay, I'm gonna go and pierce some snow.
Guys.
Bye, everybody.